I'm going to test the pH, which is going to be the acidity of the water. I'm going to check the KH. The KH will help to stabilize the pH. The NO2, which is nitrite. The NO3, which is nitrate. Probably won't bother checking the CO2 because there's no plants in this tank. I might check the GH and definitely check the ammonia. Checking your pH is really simple. What we're going to do is put 5 mils of water into a test tube. Then we're going to add 5 drops of the pH solution. Then we're going to shake it. Then we're going to wait 5 minutes, and then we're going to look at the color. So what I just did then is I got my pH solution, which is this one, pH, and I added the 5 drops. Then I give this a shaky. Then I just look at the color. So now I just flip this over. And if you want to get fancy, you can chuck this in there and then once again compare the color. So this one is quite blue. So the colors always look different in my camera, but blue is good. So basically for these fish, if the water was going orange, that means the pH is too low, and that means that would be bad. If the water starts going purple, that means the pH is too high, which I probably wouldn't care about unless I had ammonia. But if that was the case, I'd probably just do a water change and not add any KH, because the KH buffing product will also raise your pH. But I don't like using pH up products, because if it says pH up, it's probably just bicarbonate, and bicarbonate will raise the pH, but the pH will just fall straight back down again because there's no buffering capacity, so there's no actual ability for the KH, for the pH to stay up. So for a tank like this, I will tend to use KH to raise my pH. And in this case, the pH is like a bluey color, bluey green. So that is a good thing. Dig it in, big boy. That bit's clean now. The thing I'm checking is the KH. Now KH is carbonate hardness, and the KH is a titration test. A titration test is where you count the drops, whereas the other ones were colorimetric tests, which means you're comparing the color. So the way we do this is we get 5 mils of water in the test tube. Then we just give this a shake and put in 1 drop. Then we shake it, and it was blue. If it goes yellow straight away, that means that your KH is 0, and that's bad. If your KH is 0, that will affect your good bacteria, will cause you all sorts of problems. As long as your KH is not 0, normally it's not the end of the world. But in this case, I put in 1 drop of KH. See, it says KH with a little question mark. That means I don't know how many to add. See the question mark? So 1, then shake, then 2, then shake, until it goes boop. Like goes from blue to yellow. When you see it suddenly go yellow, then you count the drops. Now in this case it was 14. Now 14 is relatively high for a cichlid tank, but it's still quite good. So I'm not going to worry about it. But what I would normally do is when I do a water change, I will add KH, which is this, to stop the level from falling. But in this case, when I do my water change, I'm not going to add KH because at the moment it's just a tad on the high side. So all different types of fish like different KHs depending where in the world they're from. And this tank here, I would normally keep anywhere between say 6 and 12. But at the moment it's 14, which is slightly high, but I'm not at all worried about that. So the KH is going to be good for your good bacteria, and the KH is going to help to stabilize your pH. So every time that I do a water change, I like to check my KH, and if my KH is below 6, I would add some extra KH. If my KH is above 12, I would definitely not add any. And that will not be the same for different fish. That's why it's really important that you know what fish you keep. In this case, it would also be good to check GH, and the GH is going to tell you how much of this to add, because they're your general hardening salts. And the GH of this tank I'd like to keep somewhere around 12. Next time we'll bring a GH test kit because we don't have one right now. It's not that important, but it's a good thing to check every now and then. Ammonia is first degree fish waste. So when the fish produce waste, they produce waste in the form of ammonia. Now to test ammonia, it's really easy. What we're going to do is put 5 mils of water in each one of these. Then we're going to get NH41, and we're going to put in 4 drops. Give it a shake. NH4 2, put in 4 drops. And NH43, put in 5 drops. Give it a shaky shake and wait 15 minutes. Then what we're going to do is compare the color chart. So this sheet here tells you how to test the ammonia. Then you give it a flip over, like this, and we can see the colors. Then what we can do is get this little whacker, then you put that on the holes. So then when you look down it, you can see what the color is. So in this case, that's 0, because that's yellow. And the greener it gets, the more ammonia, until eventually it goes blue. So because that's yellow and there's no green in it whatsoever, yellow is 0. 0.05 is that one. It's got a little bit of color in it. So this particular tank has 0 ammonia. And 0 ammonia means that there's been enough good bacteria that's grown in our filter to break the ammonia into nitrite. So next I show you how to test nitrite. So next we're going to check the nitrite. So after the ammonia breaks down by bacteria in the filter into nitrite, then we need to know how to check the nitrite. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get, or what I've actually just done, is we're going to get NO2, which is a nitrite. Number 1, we're going to put in 5 drops, give it a shake. Then NO2, we're going to add number 2, we're going to put in 5 drops, and then we're going to wait 5 minutes. Now I've already done this, so that's here. I'll give it a little shaky shake. Then we're going to wait our 5 minutes. Then we're going to flip this over, put that down. Then we are going to get our little viewer, a little JBL viewer thing. Then we're going to go like this. Now this one is the control and this one is the actual test. So then we're going to look down this and we're going to see what color that it matches up to. So in this case, I'm going to say the colors of my eyes look totally different to the colors from the camera. So it's lighter than that. I'm going to say it's 0. Now it looks a little bit oranger in the camera, but let's get over that. So there is no nitrite because the color is very, very light. If the color got darker or got pretty, then that's bad. So right now the nitrite is 0, which means the bacteria that breaks the ammonia into nitrite is going well in the tank, and the bacteria that breaks the nitrite into nitrate is going well in the tank. Next we're going to check the nitrate. So NO3 is nitrate. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to put 10 mils, not 5 mils like the other ones, into this one, which means we should have 10 mils in that one. Then what we're going to do is we're going to get the powder, which one here, it says NO3 number 1, and it says scoop. So that little scoopy sign. Then we're going to grab this, scoopy. Then we're going to put that into here. Then we give that a little shaky shake. Then we grab this one, which says NO3 2, and that's saying 6. So we grab this one, we give it a shaky shake. Then we put in 6 drops. Then we give that a shaky shake. Now we need to compare the color. So we swap that over like this. We grab our little color thing, It's upside down. So now what we're going to do is whack our little thing on here. Now we're going to look down here. It's very high for me on the top of this tank, and see what color it lines up with. So this is very easy to do if it's not too high for you. But basically, I'm going to say that the nitrate is lower than 1, which means that the need for water changes as far as nitrate is concerned, you do not need one. If you start getting your nitrate level up around, say, 40, so with the fresh water, sort of, if it starts going up into the red, that's not so good. Here's not so bad, and that's good. So right now, because this is a relatively new tank, the need for water change is really quite low. As the nitrate goes up, that means you could get better filter material, or you could just do some extra water changes or improve the quality of your food. Now, because this is quite a new tank and there's still not a lot of fish in here, the nitrate is still quite low. So the next thing we'll do after we're finished testing is do a gravel clean. We'll make sure that the gravel is nice and clean. If the gravel is dirty, we will do a bigger water change. But the two main things that I'm looking for when doing water changes is how high is my nitrate level, which over time is inevitably going to increase, and how clean is my filter.